So in this problem here, we're going to learn how to complete the square. So this is the first question here. So part A, we're given 2x squared minus 20x plus 49. And we want to make it look like this. Now you'll see right away that you have something outside the completed square. What that means is we have to take something out of here that's a common factor between them both, so that we can make x by itself with our number in front. So all you do is look at the x squared, because that's going to eventually be that x in there, and take the number next to it as the common factor. So another way of writing this, if you take 2 out, it's going to be 2, open bracket, factorize, x squared minus 10x, so basically divide everything by 2, plus 49, all divided by 2. Now, we're going to go ahead and focus on this portion here. Now, if you look at this portion here, the way to achieve this bracket is to always divide that by 2. If we divide that by 2, what we end up getting is minus 5. Straight away, we go ahead and put that, I'm going to put it up here. We put that in a bracket, so divide that by 2, you get minus 5. Put the x in front always, and make it squared. That's the square completed, that's this part here. Then we go ahead and expand that. If you expand that, what you get is, so 2 brackets, you get x squared minus 10x plus 25. You get this equation here. Then all you do is ask yourself, how do I get from here back to that? So we can add that thing at the end of here. Well, to go from here to there, that's the same. That's the same. The only difference is the 25 and the 49 over 2. Now, if you do 49 over 2, that gives you 24.5. So to go from 25 to 24.5, we minus a half. So we say minus a half. That's how you go back to this. So here we put minus a half next to this. So if we go back to our question there, we're going to have, there's still 2 outside the bracket, don't forget, that hasn't changed. All of this, another way of writing this is this here. So it becomes, open bracket, x minus 5 all squared minus a half. The x minus 5 all squared will give you 25. You minus a half, it goes back to 24.5. Final step is multiply our 2 back inside the brackets. So we get here 2 times that gives you that, 2x minus 5 all squared. 2 times a half makes 1, so minus 1. And you can clearly see there that this now resembles this here. Our P is 2, our Q is 5, and our R is minus 1. So that's how we can complete the square. Now, one of the reasons we complete the square is to find the vertex, which is the lowest point on the quadratic curve. So in this particular case, the lowest point, we look at this here. It's always going to be this here with the sign reversed. So the x coordinate is going to be 5, and this here we keep the same, minus 1. That's the lowest point on our quadratic. If you look at the quadratic curve, the coordinates of that is going to be 5 minus 1. Now, part C says find the constants A, B, and C for this question here. So it's exactly the same process as this. So we're going to do another example. 4x squared plus 8x plus 3. So we have this here. So the first thing we do is we take out a common factor, which is the number next to the x squared. So divide everything by 4. So we have 4x squared plus 2x plus 3 over 4. Don't worry if you have a fraction, we had one here as well, because that doesn't divide by 4. Then we look at this here. Half it and make the square. So it becomes x plus 1, because half of that is 1, all squared. Now expand this. So you get, remember that's a different thing now. So you get x squared plus 2x plus 1. Then ask yourself, how do I go from 1 back to what I have here? Well, that's 0.75 or 3 over 4. That's 1. To go from 1 to 3 over 4, you minus a quarter. So here we have to minus a quarter. That's just to show it, but actually we put it here. Minus a quarter. So therefore, going back to this here, it's going to be 4, open bracket, all of this is now this. X plus 1 all squared minus a quarter. That's the same as that. Then multiply it back out again, and we get, that's going to be 4, open bracket, x plus 1 all squared. 4 times minus 1 over 4, and again we have minus 1. So the vertex here is going to be, flip that sign always, keep that sign the same. So minus 1 is the lowest point on this quadratic here.